Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by tall trees and gentle rivers, there lived a female saint named Ma Sahana. She lived a simple and peaceful life, spending her days guiding people, praying for them, and reminding them of God's endless grace. One calm afternoon, as she meditated beneath a banyan tree, a divine voice echoed from the sky. "O Saint, exactly 1 year from today, your neck will be cut by a sword." Most people would have trembled, cried, or begged for mercy. But Ma Sahana opened her eyes slowly, and instead of fear, tears of gratitude formed. She folded her hands and whispered, "Lord, what mercy you have shown me. You told me 1 year in advance, so I may spend every remaining day remembering your name." But as days passed, the saint realized something. People visited her constantly. They asked questions, shared their sorrows, discussed their joys, and every conversation took time away from her one remaining purpose. So she created a single sentence that she would use to end all discussions, whether good or bad. "By His will, it is excellent." Soon, this phrase became her answer for everything. If someone joyfully said, "Ma Sahana, we had a record harvest this year," she would smile softly and reply, "By His will, it is excellent." If someone cried, "Mother, there is a terrible famine in the neighboring city. People are starving," she calmly responded, "By His will, it is excellent." If someone complained about the heavy rains or scorching heat, her answer was always the same. The devotees were confused. Was this deep wisdom? Was she hiding some spiritual secret? Only one person didn't understand, her closest female disciple, Mira, who served the saint day and night. One evening, Mira ran into the ashram, her face drenched in tears. "Ma, my little child died." The saint felt a sharp pain inside her heart. Every mother knows the ache of losing a child, but the same conditioned phrase slipped from her lips. "By His will, it is excellent." Mira froze. Her heart shattered into pieces. She whispered, shaking with grief and anger, "I gave my life to serve you. And for my child, this is all you can say?" Her sorrow twisted into rage. That night, Mira made a dark decision. She would kill Ma Sahana at sunrise. Then she would see whether the saint would still say, "By His will, it is excellent." Before dawn broke, Mira hid behind the bushes near the river path, clutching a sharp sword. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from heartbreak and confusion. As always, Ma Sahana walked peacefully toward the river for her morning prayers. But suddenly she stepped on a rusty long nail buried in the path. It pierced deep into her foot. She cried out in pain, "Oh Lord! Oh Lord!" Blood dripped onto the earth. Hearing her cry, Mira jumped from the bushes, her anger forgotten. "Ma, you're wounded, your foot is bleeding badly." She tore a piece of her cloth and pressed it against the saint's foot, but Mira couldn't hold herself anymore. "Ma, how can you still say, 'By His will, it is excellent'? Look at your condition." Through her pain, Ma Sahana smiled gently and said, "My child, 1 year ago God told me that today my neck would be cut by a sword. But this small nail stopped that destiny." Mira's breath caught. The saint continued, "Even if my leg had to be cut, it is fine. God saved my life. So yes, by His will, it is excellent." Mira felt the world spin. Tears blurred her vision. Her voice trembled. "Ma, the one who came to cut your neck was me. The sword is still in the bushes." The saint looked at her lovingly, without anger. "My child, you did not come. It was death that entered your mind, but look at the power of God's name." Even death was stopped by a tiny nail. Mira collapsed at Ma Sahana's feet, crying uncontrollably. In that moment, she understood a truth she had never seen before. Sometimes God's protection appears as a small problem, a delay, a disappointment. a painful interruption. We see it as an obstacle, but God sees it as protection from a far greater danger. Mira held the saint's feet and whispered, "Mother, forgive me." Ma Sahana placed her hand on Mira's head and said, "God has planned may confuse us, hurt us, or even break us at first. But in the end, we will bow our heads and say, by His will, it is excellent." From that day forward, Mira no longer questioned God's timing. She no longer feared life's storms. She understood that the hand of God moves in ways humans cannot always foresee, and the saint's message spread across the land like sunlight. In every situation, say, by His will, it is excellent, because God's plan is always better than ours.